الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. All praise is due to Allah. May Allah's peace and blessings be on the last messenger of Allah. There is a hadith which Prophet Muhammad had stated as a guide for those who really want the goal, the ultimate goal which Islam offers, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us for. That ultimate goal of paradise is achieved by those with certain characteristics. Characteristics which go beyond the name Islam, where people might be called Muslims. They may be born in Muslim families. However, their Islam is not a product of spiritual effort, psychological commitment, emotional expression of true love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The hadith could be called the 7 who were promised paradise. Mubashirin bil-Jannah. But it is known as سبعة يظلهم الله يوم لا ظل إلا ظله. 7 were shaded by the throne of Allah on a day when there would be no shade except His shade. So Prophet Muhammad in that hadith, well known, very famous hadith, identified for us routes by which we could attain paradise, the ultimate goal, the goal of the true Muslim. So he mentioned 7. Of course, there are others. These are not the only ones. For example, on one occasion, according to Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, he informed his students, the other Sahaba, that the Prophet ﷺ had told him, if he could guarantee that he would not ask anybody for anything, the Prophet ﷺ guaranteed him paradise. And he said that on other occasions. Whoever can guarantee me that he will not ask anybody for anything. And then he gave an illustration. Even if he is sitting on his horse and his riding crop, the stick he uses to hit the horse, falls from his hand, he will get down off the horse, pick it up himself, get back up and ride. Even though there are people around him, he's close by, his friends, whatever, he's about to leave, and it just slips from his hand. People are reaching naturally to pick it up. He said, no, please. No, don't pick it up. He'll get down himself, pick it up, and get back on, ride off. It is something that might seem relatively easy, but in fact, it is something so hard that the ultimate reward, guaranteed reward, is paradise. Because we all depend on others for things. That's our way. That's how we've been created, in a world in which we depend on others. But if one can rise above the norm, the greater reward is promised to us. But it requires that one be very particular, that the smallest thing that one can imagine others doing for him or her, he has to do himself. So that's an example, and there are others where the Prophet ﷺ identified certain characteristics that those who would attain paradise would have. So this hadith, in which the Prophet ﷺ spoke about a day being the day of judgment, the day of resurrection, when we are raised from our graves, standing naked, barefoot, uncircumcised, like the day on which we were born, the day on which we will not be able to move from that place of standing, to make any step anywhere until we're asked about our age and how we spent it, the wealth, where we got it from, and how we used it, our youth, how we consumed it, and so on and so forth. We will be asked, كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته, because each and every one of us is a shepherd responsible for his or her flock. We will be asked. So on that day, when the sun will be brought near, brought so near that we will be sweating as we have never sweated before. And the level of sweat would rise to our knees, to our waist, to our necks, till we are drowning in our sweat. And this is according to our level of Iman. The stronger the Iman, the lower the level of sweat. Something that we don't get into how that would be. Because if you're sweating and it only reaches your ankle, and the person next to you is sweating and it's up to his neck, how would that be? If we think about it from a logical perspective, so we don't. If Allah wants it that way, against all logic, it will be that way. It's a real day, a day that we all will have to answer for whatever we have done in this life. And its realness in terms of what is to come will be very clear, so clear that we will be sweating till we're drowning in our sweat. So on that day, where there would be no shade from the heat of the sun, there would be a shade. A shade, not literally from Allah,